Hello and welcome to traders and investors, and I'm glad to present you the daily market review prepared by analysts and experts from fx.co portal. Here we go. And we're starting with EURUSD as usual. Let's discuss the trading plan with Miroslav Bavulski.
The second half of the day will be decisive for the dollar and possibly for the Federal Reserve's monetary policy. If the US non-farm payrolls report for April turned out worse than economists expect, it will almost certainly push the Fed to cut rates soon. However, it is difficult to predict how the dollar will react, especially given its recent strength despite weak GDP data earlier this week. It's better to rely on the market's reaction to the data before making decisions. If the pair declines, a plan to act from major support at 1.1304 formed during the first half of the day. A false breakout there will be a reason to buy EURUSD, targeting a recovery toward 1.1337, which we have failed to break through earlier today. A breakout and retest of this range from above would confirm a valid entry point with a further move toward 1.1376. The ultimate target will be 1416, where I will take profit. If EURUSD drops and there is no activity around 1304, pressure on the pair could increase significantly, potentially leading to a further decline toward 1.1269. Only after a false breakout there will I consider buying the euro, and also plan to open long positions on a rebound from 1.1219 with the intraday target of 35 points upward. If the euro rises after the US labor market data, which is also likely bears, will make to assert themselves around 1.1337. Only a false breakout there, similar to the one we discussed earlier, will justify entering short positions targeting the 1.1304 support level, where the moving averages currently favoring bulls are located. A breakout and consolidation below these range would be an ideal scenario for selling, with a move toward 1.1269. The final target will be 1.1219, where you could take profit. A test of this level would break the bullish market. If EURUSD climbs further in the second half of the day and there is no bearish activity around 1.1337, buyers could push the pair to 1.1376. You could only sell from that level after a successful consolidation. You could also plan to sell on a rebound from 1.1416. with a 30-35 point downward correction target.
Let's trade with the MACD indicator. It's time for GBPUSD. Jakub Novak presents.
You could plan to buy the pound today at the entry point around 1.3326. It's a green line on the chart, targeting a rise toward 33.84, the green line on the chart. Around 33.84, you could also exit long positions and open short positions in the opposite direction, anticipating a 30-35 point move in the opposite direction. A pound rally today is possible only after weak US data. Before buying, make sure that the MACD indicator is above the zero line and just beginning to rise from it. You could also plan to buy the pound today in case of two consecutive price tests of 1.3261. At that time, when the MACD indicator is in an oversold zone. This will limit the pair's downward potential and lead to a reversal upward. A rise toward the opposite levels of 1.3326 and 33.84. You could plan to sell the pound today after a break below 32.81, which will lead to a sharp decline in the pair. The key target for sellers will be 1.3221, where you could plan to exit short positions and open long positions in the opposite direction, expecting a 20-25 point rebound from that level. Sellers will become active in case of strong US statistics. Important before selling, make sure that the MACD indicator is below the zero line and just beginning to decline from it. You could also plan to sell the pound today in case of two consecutive price tests, a 1.3326. At the time when the MACD indicator is in an overbought zone. This will limit the pair's upward potential and lead to a reversal. A decline toward the opposite levels of 1.3281 and 32.21 is expected.
That's all for today. Wish you best of luck.